a smiling mascot, towering over a city, destroying everything in its path. That image doesn't just feel strange, it feels wrong on a level you can't quite explain. Because the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man isn't terrifying in the way monsters are supposed to be. He doesn't have sharp teeth, glowing eyes, or a grotesque form. He looks safe, familiar, almost comforting, and that's exactly what makes him disturbing. But here's the question no one really asks. What if his true meaning has nothing to do with being a monster and everything to do with being a psychological weapon? Because hidden inside Ghostbusters is a concept that most people completely miss. The idea that your mind, under pressure, will betray you in the most subtle way possible. And if that's true, then Stay Puft isn't just a character. He's a warning. But a warning about what exactly? At the center of this lies a concept that's as uncomfortable as it is real. The human brain is incapable of processing nothing. The moment you're told not to think, you've already failed. And in that split second, your mind searches for the fastest escape route. Something neutral, something safe, something that won't hurt you. That's where Ray's stance makes what seems like a harmless mistake. But it's not random. It's instinct. His brain reaches for childhood imagery. Something pure, controlled, predictable. But here's the twist. That instinct meant to protect him becomes the very thing that dooms everyone. And that opens a much darker interpretation. Because if your brain defaults to comfort under stress, then in moments of real danger, you're not thinking clearly, you're self-soothing. You're not solving the problem, you're avoiding it. And that means the threat isn't just external, it's internal. So what happens when your own mind becomes the doorway for something destructive? Now take this one step further. Stay Puft isn't just chosen, he's manifested. He's the physical embodiment of a suppressed psychological response. And that aligns with something deeply rooted in human behavior. Repression. The more you push something away, the more power it gains beneath the surface. The instruction, don't think, is essentially a trigger for that repression. And what breaks through isn't logic. It's emotion disguised as innocence. That's why the form matters so much. A terrifying monster would be easy to fight. You recognize the danger immediately. But something that looks harmless, that bypasses your defenses. It slips through unnoticed. And that's the real horror. Because Stay Puft doesn't just destroy buildings. He exposes a flaw in how we deal with fear. We don't confront it. We reshape it. We soften it. We turn it into something we can tolerate. Until it's too late. And if you think about it, that pattern shows up everywhere. In denial, in procrastination, in the way people ignore problems until they become crises. So the real question is, how often are we creating our own monsters without realizing it? And now the final piece, the one that ties everything together. The entity behind it all, Gozer, doesn't choose a form. It lets you choose. That's not just a plot device. It's a statement. The ultimate threat isn't what exists out there. It's what exists inside you. Your fears, your memories, your need for comfort. All of it can be turned against you. And that's why the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is so effective. He's not just attacking the city. He's attacking the idea that we're in control of our own minds. Because in that critical moment, when it mattered most, the human brain didn't produce strength, strategy, or resistance. It produced nostalgia. And that nostalgia became destruction. That's the payoff. That's the dark meaning. Stay Puft represents the danger of unchecked subconscious impulses. The idea that what feels safest in your mind can become the most dangerous thing in reality. And now let me ask you something you probably won't forget. If you were in that moment told not to think, what would your mind create? And would you even realize the consequences before it was too late? If you made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of people who never question what they see. So now it's on you. Ignore this, or start paying attention to what your mind does when you're not in control. If this shifted your perspective even a little, hit like, because that's how this reaches more people who need to wake up to this. And if someone came to mind while you were watching, you already know what to do. Share this with them. And if you want more content that makes you see the world differently, stick around. Because from here on out, nothing is as simple as it looks.